Hello everyone. In this video I'm going to talk about how I got the starter to work in my E38 LSX swap. A couple things you want to know going into this. My build used a 4LADE. Yes, it does fit. Yes, you will have to modify the tunnel a little bit. No, it was not to the extent that I needed to actually remove the carpet from the car or cut a lot of panels out or anything, but there was some rails I had to cut out of the tunnel and a little bit of hammering to get everything to fit, but it did. It's there. It works. So I have not researched a manual transmission build. I've heard various stories about how you can use European E38 clutch parts. There was a cutout in the transmission tunnel, like a punch out plate. It looked like for a shifter, so I'm thinking E38. At some point, yes, they did decide to put a stick in it, but I don't think we got any in the States. I also heard you may be able to use E39 parts for stick shift stuff. I really don't know. That's all I know about that. On the downside, you're going to have to come up with an anti-theft system after you do this because you're about to defeat the OEM one. And so, yeah, I might want to do that. On the upside, you no longer need to go to the dealer or somebody with an expensive scan tool to code your keys to the car for the anti-theft system. So if you want to make more keys, it's just the cost of the key and to have someone cut it at this point. So going right into it, this is the schematic for it. Pretty simple system. You leave the battery here, come on into the EWS. The EWS, it will get in the way of the starter working because it gets right in the way of the starter relay. And also, and on the other side, the coming out of the ignition switch, the DME also defeats the ignition switch. So both of these boxes are going to have to be bypassed for the system to work. On another side to that is the DME also, not only does it defeat the ignition switch for security reasons, but it also defeats the ignition switch in the event you try to start the car in anything other than park or neutral. So to bypass the EWS, it's pretty simple. Locate the box. It's right near your gas pedal in the dash, and just jumper pins 1 and 2. That will bypass the red and the black wire here on pins 1 and 2 and allow this to always pass on through to the starter relay. And let's see, yep. And then for this part here, we're going to bypass the DME. And when you bypass the DME, you'll want to jumper the 2 wires that are on pins 6 and 40 of the X60004 connector in the E-box. You just hook those 2 wires together, and that will bypass the DME lockout for the system. Then the next part you're going to want to do is you're going to want to have some kind of neutral safety, so the car can only start in park or neutral. And what I used was the safety switch on the side of the 4LADE trans. If you take the blue with white wire here on pin 8 of the starter relay and run that to the green wire coming off of pin 1 of your neutral safety switch, that will provide ground in the appropriate gear for that. And then on the other side of it, you're going to want to hook up the heavy gauge purple starter signal wire coming from your starter on your LSX engine. And you're going to want to run that to the black wire on pin 3 of the X20 connector located in the E-box. It's a white connector right there. And that is all you need to do for the starter. One thing I may add is if you're wanting to do some kind of anti-theft system, you probably want to use the EWS wires here. It's under the dash. It's probably the most ideal location for some kind of anti-theft system for the car. I went with a different method, obviously, and of course I'm not going to share what that is, but that's pretty much it.